Hello, Rifters. How's it going? I'm here to present a way to play Riftbound through a free application, or I guess you could say website in this case, in which you can play with friends, you can play with random people as well. First thing you want to go to is TCG Arena, and you'll go to a page that looks like this. After you're here, you want to go to games, and this is where I believe that people can like load in games and kind of modify it to their um, liking when it comes to like different card games. So we can see all these card games that you're able to play through this website. And this mod you can see here, Riftbound, is managed by Rojo, and they did a great job on it, in my opinion. And it makes playing on this browser like super snappy. So you want to go ahead and you see this, just click on Riftbound to add it to one of your games. I highly recommend that you register as well, because that's the easiest way to save your deck. If you want to go play on another device, you cannot play this on mobile or tablet. I'm pretty sure you can't play this on tablet. You cannot play this on your phone. If you can, feel free to double check if you have a tablet and you want to try that. But I definitely recommend signing up, just because your decks can be saved across browsers and devices. Next thing you want to do is go ahead and actually get a deck to play with. So you don't want to go to play and then not have any decks, right? So you want to go to decks up here. As you can see here, I have several decks that I like to just mess around with. And if you have seen in my previous videos, multiple of these decks I play with. You want to create deck here. Let's name it whatever. YouTube video deck. In this case, you can make a deck in this browser from scratch with all the cards, everything. I really do not recommend this. Do not make a deck through TCG Arena. What you want to do instead, is actually make a deck through one of the better deck building websites slash resources that you can use. So in this case, I'm going to pull up on this screen my favorite website. I think it's the best deck builder, or one of the most popular ones. Tilt over archive. I'm going to go ahead and full screen this, look this up, and go ahead and click on the link that you see. I would recommend signing up as well, but you really don't have to if you're just looking to play here and there, right? After that, Tilt over archive has a deck builder. This was in a video that I'm about to do, so you now see that. Spoiler alert, I'm about to do a figure deck building video for beginners, but normally when you click new deck, this will come up and then you can deck build with this. Check out my deck building video. That's super in depth if you want to. But in this case, if you just want to rip some games with a friend and just pull up random decks, go to decks, go to deck library, and then look at whatever interests you. You can look through these legends to pick one. I'm going to click on Timo here, and there's going to be several lists that you'll see from people that are public. You can sort by, the newest ones, trending ones, most liked, most viewed, right? And this Timo list is the best Timo that got 36th place at the Houston Regional. So I'm going to go ahead and actually go here, and we're going to load this into TCG Arena. Once you click on the deck list, you want to go ahead and export this. And you want to export it as text when you're using TCG Arena. I'm going to copy that to my clipboard. Now we're back to TCG Arena in the deck building section. And we're going to import over that deck list. And we're just going to paste in. So we're just going to go import and replace. Boom. Timo, chosen champion, units, everything's ready to go. I'm just going to click save here. Awesome. Now what I'm gonna do is just go back. You can go back to TCG Arena, but from here on out, you're able to just play. You don't have to go into the deck building because you have it saved. I'm gonna go to play, and then here, usually your playmat will be empty. It'll just be a blank, like darkish grayish blue. But this is a playmat that you can set, and this is actually the play realm in TCG Arena. Right here, you can just click find a random opponent and find someone random, but you probably want to know, how do I actually like control things and play with these cards and not be a total, klutz when it comes to playing someone random. So I'm going to go ahead and start a new game over to the left. You can also go under preferences to kind of pick what pick your playmat. I'm just gonna go with the empty one, just to see that this is likely your POV when you start. Options, I keep everything on default. I'm gonna go ahead and start a new game. Usually when you're playing, you're gonna be just playing classic 1v1. Now, this enables you to play free-for-all, and the other game modes that Riftbound offers, 2v2, 3-player free-for-all, 4-player free-for-all. You will have to set your deck in a deck builder as a multiplayer format deck. In this case, we're just going to do classic, and then starting player in the Riftbound etiquette that goes on in TCG Arena, just keep it at random. Start. And we have all the decks that's saved under my account. In this case, we're going to load up that Teemo deck we pulled from Piltover Archive. Click continue. When you click continue, it will prompt you to do some sideboarding stuff. We're going to ignore that for now. Cool. Your opponent's going to have their stuff hidden, but when you both pick your decks, it'll then reveal your legend and champion unit that's paired up with your legend, your chosen champion. You're going to have 3 battlefields from your deck show up over to the left. These are the 3 we have. You can see these 3, your opponent cannot. What usually goes on after this is rolling to see who goes first. So people will usually go to the left, click on roll a dice, roll a d20. I got a 4, let's say my opponent rolls it. They got a 3. After this, you then reveal your battlefields. You don't have to select who goes first or second until battlefields are shown. Most of the time, if you're new to Riftbound, you will be going first, or you'll want to. But to choose your battlefield, you can right-click on the battlefields you do not want, and then remove hidden. So that means that, you can just remove them. So a quick way to do it, you can right-click, click remove, is hold R, and then click on the battlefields you want to remove. So I'm holding R, click, click, those are gone, removed from the game. I will now go ahead and reveal this to my opponent to let them know this is my first battlefield that I am selecting. And you can do that by right-clicking, visible by, and you want to click all. So this is flipping it over and showing your opponent that this is the battlefield you have chosen. And you can kind of see the chat box in the bottom right. Awesome. And since I'm going to go first, what you can do now is click the mulligan down here, and it'll show you the 4 starting cards that you'll be playing with. In this case, I will choose to mulligan Mundo, and that's it. And you can put the selected card to the bottom and start. It will not draw that extra that you need to draw, so make sure you do that manually. You can do that by just hovering over and clicking the mouse button. Awesome. So this is our starting hand. We're going first. What you can do here is manually, usually on the first turn you'll do it, get your 2 runes by just clicking. We'll draw. And on my turn, I'm going to tap, and you can just tap by clicking on the runes with left mouse button. Play your unit. Everything that comes out of your hand will be played to or exhausted manually. So with gear, that's a little troublesome because gear doesn't come down exhausted. So make sure you remember to bring that in ready. Awesome. So here, I'm gonna go ahead and end my turn. You can end your turn by clicking space or just this arrow up here. And it's gonna end. I would not ready anything here, right? Because it's my opponent's turn. We don't have an opponent. The game or the browser TCG Arena will manually draw for your turn and then get your runes out manually when the turn is passed to you. So my opponent would see that. And now it is let's assume my opponent passes the turn and it's back to me. The 2 runes came up and this is my draw for now this turn. So let's say I want to go to a battlefield. I'll go over here. Okay, you can just hold left mouse button and click on over. Great, I got a point. Okay, let's say here, we rewind. It's my turn, and I'm trying to come here, and I want to stupefy, because I want to draw 1 here. I'm going to tap 1, exhaust 1, show stupefy over to the pile on the right to show, hey, I want to stupefy something. I'm paying the 1 to stupefy, and then I'm going to target by clicking this up left arrow to a unit I want to stupefy. Hey, I'm attempting to target my tide turner. I put it on the chain. Let's say they then play a stupefy themselves, and let's imagine that this is stupefy. They play a stupefy, this is stack decked, but let's imagine they play it over here, and it goes on the chain. So you can see first in, last out. If that's how since that's how these things resolved in Riftbound. But let's say I play the stupefy, and then he plays the stupefy. The chain is over. You can just click play, and the chain will resolve. Everything will go to the discard pile. Cool. I got my point. I'll get my draw 1, and then get my conquer point. Awesome. Let's say that I play a stack deck. The stack deck is good, and you're going to be peeking at the top of your cards quite often in this game. I'm putting it up here to let my opponent know I am playing a stack deck during an open state of my turn. What you can do to look at the top is right-click the deck. And you want to click Manage Top Cards, because only you are looking at the top. You're not revealing. If you want to reveal, you can do Top Card Visibility. But here, you just want to manage top cards with stack deck. And we're going to show 3 cards. 1, 2, 3. If you want to show your opponent, which you do not with stack deck, you can reveal. Maybe you do this with, I forgot what reveal cards are out there. Blind Fury, I guess. But I want to put this to my hand. Cool. I want that, and I'll bring these 2 to the bottom because stack deck says to recycle. After that, it resolves. I'll pass my turn to my opponent. I'll actually hide something, and I will not use Teemo's ability before I pass my turn. I'll hide this. I'll recycle 1. Now I'm gonna hide Consult the Pass. When you hide cards in Riftbound, they're face down at a battlefield. You really want them to be hidden first rather than putting it down and then hiding it, obviously, because then your opponent will know what the card is. You can right click on it and the card you want to hide, go to Visible By, and hover over to No One face down. I could look over it because I'm the owner of the card, but just like if you were playing in person, this is what it would look like. You're putting it face down, you're sliding it over, and now you can hide it. Right? This is a way to hide it. You can hide it at this battlefield. Some people like to hide it in the zone that they're controlling. So I usually hide it like this. It's hidden. Great. It's my opponent's turn. They want to come contest this battlefield. So let's say they played a unit here that can beat my tide turner. I will open up the chain. He passes over to me. I'll go visible by, and I will do all to reveal it. Let's say that they don't stop this. I'll draw my 2. Unit is dead, and you can just drag it over to a discard. Consult the past also is consumed. Used. There, my opponent will get a point, and let's say he passes the turn to me. And then you will just go ahead and play like that. So we're back, and once again, I have this Teemo deck reloaded because I forgot something that I think is very important. If you are playing against someone, it's very common to see icons pop up here and there. At the bottom right, your chat box will not have these icons, but if you click the little smiley, the quick bar for these icons will pop up. And these icons can do a lot in terms of communicating without having to go something like I pass, do you pass, 1 second. Instead, what you can do, for example, let's say I play my Teemo, he passes a turn back to me. This is my hand, and I go here for a conquer, and I hit them with the question mark. I'm letting them know, hey, I'm passing to you. Do you have something to stop this? Let's say they don't. They give me a thumbs up. You'll see the thumbs up pop up on your screen. They're saying, hey, you're good. Get your point. I get my point. Okay, let's rewind. Let's say I go to the battlefield over here, and I'm like, hey, do you have anything? And it's like super deep in the game. Maybe it's for game point. They're thinking about their lines. They might hit you with the hourglass, which is pretty much saying, hey, give me a second. I'm thinking. Okay, they want to gust my Teemo. I'm playing Gust for my hand, but let's imagine my opponent has Gust. They play the Gust. They decide to target my Teemo. I'm wondering. Oops, sorry. I'm wondering, Okay, I'll let that go. Thumbs up. Let them know that goes through. You're good. My unit, gets to my hand, actually, not the discard pile. It's common to just use these icons, and sometimes you barely have to chat to communicate what's going on because there's like little arrows that you can target. If I use a kill spell over here, I can click on a unit over there that I'm killing, things like that. You can clear these lines out if you're targeting a bunch. If you play Singularity, just play it. It does not. If you play Singularity and then you want to aim at these two, right? Because I play Singularity here. This is how it would actually look. Sorry. I'm aiming at these two. Imagine this is a Singularity. It deals 6 to 2, up to 2 units. If there's a bunch of lines around, you can just clear it with the delete all your card links over to the left above the tokens and cards icon. Boom, it's back to being clean. I play Singularity, my opponent hits the wait sign, and then they play a wind wall or something, and I say, all right, sounds good, thumbs up. Or, check mark, you got it, things like that. So just those emojicons that you can use really help make the game more snappy without you having to type up a storm. Additionally, there are extra little emojicons if you want. My opponent one time played Nocturne on turn 2 off the reveal, or searching the top of the deck, and I started spamming this. So that's another tip for TCG Arena. A really big thing because of set 2 is playing with equipment, which is attaching gear. So I'll go ahead and start a new game to kind of showcase that, because you'll see me do that in the matches I play. I will play an Exir deck, and I will imagine that I'm going second. Okay, I'm gonna get rid of these battlefields, and I'm gonna do visible to everyone. So we have Obelisk. I'm going second. I'll get 1 extra rune. Sure. I will pay my 2. Play an equipment, a gear equipment. I'll untap it because they always come in ready. Now I can activate Azir because he has Weapon Mass, or he has a requirement that you can play a Sand Soldier unit token only if you've played an equipment this turn. I have played that, so let's go ahead and do that. And this is how you can get tokens into the game, and I'll teach you how to group pieces together so that you can keep things in order and kind of easier to track. So you can come here and this will be blank for you. In the top left, just look up the token you're looking for. So there's gold, sprite, recruit, right? Different types of recruit. And you'll load that in. I need a sand soldier token. I'll create it. It gets weapon master. So I'm good to attach this equipment by paying 1 less power. So pretty much free. An easy way to do this is holding G to start grouping. I'm holding G right now. I'm going to click Brutalizer. And now it's prompting me to pick a card I want to put Brutalizer under. I'll put it under my Sand Soldier because it's the one that's equipping the equipment. And now it is below the Sand Soldier. And I'm going to tap it just so it looks more clean. So it gives +1 to my unit. To make things easier, what you can do, slow that down, is right click on your unit or card, whichever the case may be, in toggle counters. You can do Control C if you want to. I'll do that right now. Control C. Oops, that's not working, sorry. You want to hover over your unit and click the toggle counter 2, usually. Either or works, just preference. I like to do 2. And then I'm just gonna either, what people will do is just put 1 for, hey, he has +1, or their total might if it's equipment based, because equipment kind of stays on longer. So I'm just gonna put 3. Let my opponent know maybe in the chat. I'm doing total might with these counters. So then, let's say I take over a battlefield and it says when you hold here, buff. And let's say this unit does hold. Over near the question mark, you have 4 little icons that can help remember with, buffs or added keywords, especially with these keywords that can be spent. Like you can spend a buff for a draw at one of the battlefields. Or you need to remember that unit is stunned. And then if a unit is temporary, like a sprite, you can remember that with a little hourglass. And this is giving you deflect if you are using Hex Drinker, or you can remember it yourself. I like to really use this for the buff token. This is a buff token. So let's say I held out a battlefield that gives me a buff token. I'll add that to my unit and give them a +1. Now let's say I spend the buff. You can hover over it and just click the trash and spend the buff. Awesome. So now I will go ahead and, my opponent would pass the turn. It comes to me, and you kind of just go through with your turns like that. Get your points at the bottom left. If you need to channel a rune manually because you have a card that tells you to do so, you can just click this and tap. On my turn, I'm gonna do some crazy stuff and try to conquer here. They get their unit to be bigger. I want to defy that. I'll pay my 1 and recycle a calm rune. Once again, the recycle is just hovering over the corner of a card, and it'll just go to the bottom. The chain is over. I'll click play, and it goes to the graveyard or discard pile. I'll get my point. I now want to hide. Visible by, I want to hide my hidden blade. Visible by, no one face down. Go over here and hide it. I need to recycle 1. It is now hidden. So yeah, that's a pretty straightforward way of just getting used to the TCG Arena controls. You can see here that there's quicker way to do things. If you need to do all or something, if you need to reveal your hand, there's a down arrow here at your hand zone, and then you can reveal all. So my opponent would be able to see my hand. You can get Mind Splittered. You can tap all. You can tap all over here. You can also untap all. Things like that. But so those are some snappy things to do. If you don't want to tap 1, 2, 3, 4, you can just tap all if you have the perfect curve. Play your chosen champion by just dragging it out. you know, can't afford to play that champion. Reveal this by right-clicking visible all. Cool. I want to take off my equipment because now I have another sand token that's coming in and it has Weapon Master. So then I hold G, I'll ungroup it. It's ungrouped. Hold G again. Group this with the new Sand Soldier. I want to draw a certain amount of cards in my hand. Draw 2 because I got Hidden Bladed. Just go up by 1. Draw 2. Or I could just go double tap for draw 2. Play Facebreaker. Stun it on action speed. Play. They get pushed back. So yep, pretty straightforward. Nothing is super automatic, so you will have to, know the rules of the game in order to really play this. I probably will end up making a Spirit Forged set to how to play, which will obviously go over just Riftbound in general on how to play, but also just set to interactions and new keywords that are being brought into the game, which can be a little overwhelming for newcomers. But some oddball interactions, things like that. So thank you guys for watching. I think TCG Arena is really fun to play with just people. If you want a quick best of 1 or something like that, or if you have friends that don't have Tabletop Simulator, go ahead, knock some games out in TCG Arena. You have everything that you really need on the left. And yeah, it's just a good way to get some reps in and get the practice in. Let me know if I missed something down in the comments below. Let me know if there's any suggestions on how I should do these, like playthroughs or tutorials, or if I'm going too fast, too slow, any of that stuff. Thank you all for watching. See you later, Rifters.